The journey of healing your inner child is profound and deeply transformative. It's about rediscovering forgotten parts of yourself, embracing vulnerability without fear or shame, and nurturing a gentle sense of self-compassion. Along this winding but rewarding path, you'll encounter distinct and illuminating signs that your inner child is healing. These signs are like beacons of light guiding you toward greater emotional wholeness and growth. Here are 14 signs your inner child is reawakening. Embracing vulnerability. The first major sign your inner child is healing is your growing ability to embrace vulnerability. Where once you may have reflexively hidden your emotions, erecting walls for self-protection, you now find yourself opening up authentically. You're able to express your innermost feelings without being inhibited by fear or judgment. This marks a profound shift, reflecting your deepening connection with your inner child's most tender feelings and experiences. Specifically, you'll notice you no longer feel compelled to pretend to be perfect. The old walls of perceived strength and invulnerability dissolve. In their place arises the courage to share your insecurities, express your heartache, ask for help, and reveal your pain. You understand on a visceral level that hiding your humanity behind a facade of perfection only breeds loneliness. Authentic connection calls for truth-telling. Embracing sincere vulnerability actually surfaces as a source of strength rather than weakness. You realize hiding parts of yourself expends tremendous energy. You experience the lightness and relief of simply being you, without manipulation or concealment. Vulnerability gives you access to immense courage, resilience, and empathy. Your story, in all its imperfect glory, belongs to you. And in it lies exquisite beauty waiting to be expressed. That is the vulnerable yet wise inner child within you guiding your way. Prioritizing self-compassion. As you heal your inner child, you'll notice self-compassion becomes a central practice. Where once you may have been extremely self-critical, you now respond to yourself with understanding, patience, and care. You recognize the inner critic was merely a misguided protective mechanism. Your inner child didn't need correction, it needed nurturing. You intentionally shift from haranguing yourself for perceived mistakes, flaws, and failures to gently acknowledging you're only human. Beating yourself up becomes replaced by speaking to yourself with the wisdom, respect, and care you would extend to a beloved child. You honor your challenges, frailties, and growing edges. Most importantly, you actively comfort and care for the parts of you that feel wounded, scared, or shamed. This self-compassion allows your inner child to blossom. Through this practice, you organically begin to embrace the totality of who you are, past and present. Rather than resist or reject struggling parts of yourself, you learn to offer compassion. You recognize the criticism and judgment that dominated was misdirected frustration over the limiting stories, patterns, and traumas you internalized. But now you're healing those wounds with patience and understanding. You see this self-compassion is not a free pass, but rather a powerful catalyst for growth and maturity. For in loving yourself fully, you become free. Rekindling playfulness. You'll naturally rediscover the joy of playfulness. Activities you may have dismissed since childhood as frivolous or childish become sources of enchantment, presence, and relaxation. Where your inner critic once scolded you for silly games or purposeless fun, you now delight in play for its own sake. You'll notice yourself gravitating toward arts, crafts, music, dance, sports, adventure, and creativity. Like a child bubbling with enthusiasm, you allow yourself to get absorbed in projects just because they're interesting and give you joy. You give yourself permission to explore and experiment. Curiosity, not expertise, guides you. Mistakes evoke laughter, not self-flagellation. This resurrection of playfulness mirrors your inner child's spirit reawakening after years of being suppressed or shamed. You begin reclaiming parts of yourself that found freedom through unstructured play. And remarkably, Incorporating more playfulness actually cultivates happiness, relieves stress, sparks novel ideas, and enhances work performance. For play is restorative, it connects you with the present moment, counterbalancing an achievement-obsessed culture. Honoring your inner child's need for play is honoring your wholeness. Establishing boundaries. Healing your inner child involves learning to establish healthy boundaries. Where once your self-worth may have hinged on pleasing others, you're now able to recognize and assert your own limits, values, and deal breakers. You realize dismissing your own needs bred unhealthy resentment and anger. Saying no stopped feeling selfish. It now feels like an act of self-care and self-respect. This ability to set clear boundaries indicates a deepening attunement with your inner child's needs for safety and space to thrive. Young parts of you may have adapted to abuse, neglect, or enmeshment by losing sense of your own autonomy. But now you're unraveling those traumas by honoring your right to exist unapologetically as your whole self. You recognize the people who respect your boundaries care about your well-being. Those who try to coerce or manipulate you past your limits reflect their own insecurity. Standing firm in yourself demonstrates profound growth. Your inner child trusts your ability to hold these boundaries gently but unwaveringly. Saying no has become an act of love. It allows you to say yes when you genuinely want to. Nurturing inner dialogue. Another indication your inner child is healing is the emergence of nurturing inner dialogue. The harsh, punitive voice of your inner critic loses its power. In its place arises a kinder inner voice, the voice your inner child needs. You find negative self-talk transforming into positive affirmations demonstrating self-care. Rather than concentrating on your flaws and failures, you begin acknowledging your strengths, progress, and worth. You actively reframe situations in helpful ways. With compassion and wisdom, you validate emotions without judgment and provide encouragement to persevere. Difficult feelings become opportunities for growth rather than punishment. In effect, your inner voice evolves into a supportive guidance counselor and caring mentor. This doesn't breed complacency, but rather fosters security and confidence. You still acknowledge unhealthy patterns that need improvement. But your approach becomes educational, not berating. With self-trust, you transform self-talk from an enemy into an ally. Your relationship with yourself grows more accepting and empowering. Exploring self-discovery. As your inner child heals, you'll notice a growing sense of curiosity about understanding yourself on a deeper level. Prompted by your inner child's urging, you make self-discovery a priority. This manifests as an eagerness to explore your emotional patterns, quirks, triggers, talents, and origins of behaviors. You seek to unravel the mystery of you. This curiosity signifies your inner child feels safe enough to bring background processes to the forefront. Where once past traumas may have remained shrouded in shadow, you're now ready to integrate these fragmented pieces through compassionate understanding. You recognize the value of illuminating your dark places, listening to your body's innate wisdom, examining your dreams' messages, and understanding how your childhood still impacts you. While this process may be challenging at times, your inner child trusts your ability to handle disorienting or painful revelations with care. You understand this self-discovery is necessary for releasing old limitations and healing intergenerational wounds. It allows you to rewrite limiting narratives and view yourself with greater objectivity and care. Your inner child knows this curiosity will blossom into greater freedom. Embracing forgiveness. Letting go of past regrets, hurts, and grudges through genuine forgiveness is incredibly healing for your inner child. Where previously anger and resentment burn within you, forgiveness brings the cooling balm of release. You realize in constantly raking yourself or others over the coals of bitterness, you merely prolong pain. Your inner child begs for the relief only forgiveness can bring. This applies both to yourself and others. You accept that holding on to perceived mistakes and offenses breeds anxiety, resentment, and disconnection. The vulnerabilities and traumas underlying behaviors become apparent. Blame and punishment shift to seeking mutual growth through understanding. You honor your inner child's need for lightness by surrendering painful burdens. With forgiveness, your inner child feels unshackled from the past's heavy weight. Emotional and mental energy once fixated on anguish gets freed up. Your inner child feels safe to play out in the open because you've made peace with your history. While behaviors may warrant reasonable consequence, you're no longer haunted by the tyranny of unforgivable acts. For your spirit recognizes we're all imperfect, and the chance to do better waits tomorrow. Reviving creativity. Your inner child speaks through creativity. Thus, reconnecting with long-dormant creative passions like art, music, dance, writing, theater, or photography reveals your inner child playfully emerging from the shadows. Unstructured creative expression provides a direct channel for your inner child's imagination and sensibilities. Where once you may have dismissed seemingly impractical creative pursuits as wastes of time, you now recognize their immeasurable value for self-discovery, processing emotions, problem-solving, relaxation, and fun. Your inner child delights in integrating creativity into your lifestyle through hobbies, community classes, journaling, or professional projects. Making creativity a regular practice keeps your inner child's portal to the world open. When you honor this need for creative expression, you welcome more inspiration, childlike wonder, and authenticity into your days. This strengthens your relationship with your inner child. For you've created a venue for your inner child to shine. Acknowledging inner needs. Healing your inner child involves learning to acknowledge your emotional needs. Just as a young child naturally expresses their needs to a caring parent, you take inventory of your innermost needs and nurture them. This demonstrates profound self-awareness and integration. Specifically, you identify needs like connection, validation, fun, rest, purpose, growth, order, meaning, freedom, expression, trust, intimacy, and more. You realize dismissing core needs led to psychological distress and isolation. But now, taking steps to actively fulfill them fosters alignment with your inner and outer selves. Nurturing these inner needs, one by one, mirrors a compassionate parent's attentiveness in addressing their child's concerns. As you do so with mindfulness and care, you're building essential self-trust. You're proving to your inner child you have their best interests at heart. Fulfilling emotional needs yields confidence, security, and empowerment. This self-care and self-advocacy allows your inner child to flourish holistically. Rebuilding self-trust. You naturally begin rebuilding trust in yourself. Questioning your every instinct and decision dissipates. In its place arises self-assuredness and confidence in your inner guidance. You learn to navigate situations, relationships, and choices guided by your restored inner compass. This represents profound inner child healing. Where a lack of self-trust once undermined your choices, keeping you stuck in analysis paralysis, you move forward decisively in alignment with your truth. You accept occasional missteps as learning opportunities, not evidence of ineptitude. With compassion, you acknowledge everyone makes mistakes. Redeveloping self-trust empowers you to take healthy risks, set boundaries, and handle life's curveballs. You realize ignoring your inner voice's wisdom causes far more pain than trusting its inherent intelligence. Your relationship with yourself transforms from skeptic to best friend. Your inner child can rely on you, without hesitation, to act in their highest good. This self-trust builds an unshakable foundation. Healing emotional wounds. Courageously confronting past emotional wounds signifies your inner child feels ready to process old pain. Where once you buried trauma, you now actively seek healing. This demonstrates tremendous trust in your inner child's strength and your ability to lovingly nurture their suffering parts. Specifically, childhood emotional wounds often center around experiences of abandonment, invalidation, betrayal, rejection, shame, and abuse. Your inner child carries these complex traumas until you're able to approach them with compassion. Now, you're willing to counsel and comfort your inner child through these old pains, integrating fragmented parts of yourself. You may work with a therapist, support groups, inner child visualization, journaling, grief rituals, and other practices. This active commitment to heal emotional trauma allows your wounded inner child to release the past's hold. Painful events cannot be changed, but transforming their meaning allows you to grow beyond them. Healing transforms wounds into wisdom. Your inner child gains hope and resilience knowing together you can weather any storm. Celebrating progress. Healing your inner child involves consciously celebrating achievements and milestones, no matter how small. Where once you minimized or dismissed your accomplishments, you now acknowledge each one with self-appreciation and gratitude. You realize progress needs to be nurtured through recognition. Specifically, you actively cheer yourself on for goals reached, risks taken, hardships endured, and lessons learned. Big and small, external and internal, your wins and growth deserve acknowledgement. Your inner child finds encouragement through life's inevitable ups and downs when you shine a light on their efforts. This practice of celebrating progress nourishes your inner child's sense of self-worth and motivation. It transforms the old perfectionistic notion that accomplishments are trivial or expected. Growth is not linear, it comes in bursts and backslides. With compassion, you're realizing lasting change takes time and work. Your consistent mindful practice of recognizing progress reinforces your inner child's healing journey. Fostering healthy relationships. As you attend to your inner child's healing, the quality of your relationships unconsciously improves. Where strained, trauma-laden, or unsupportive relationships once set off your inner child's wounds, you now cultivate connections rooted in mutual growth, care, and respect. Your inner child learns relational patterns can be healthy and fulfilling. You become increasingly selective, investing in relationships that allow you to show up authentically and be nourished in return. You realize some relationships may need to dissolve, not from judgment but to honor your soul's outgrown truth. Your inner child trusts you'll curate a community that makes them feel seen, safe, and valued. They understand not everyone is meant to take the journey with you. When your relationships reflect your inner child's integration, you've mastered a central milestone. For relating well springs from how you relate with yourself. Your inner child beams, knowing you've internalized that all life mirrors within. In healing your relationship with yourself, you manifest healthy relationships everywhere. Living mindfully. Perhaps most profoundly, as your inner child heals, you naturally adopt a more mindful presence. Instead of endlessly jumping from future worries to past regrets, you become grounded in the here and now. You don't resist what is. You accept and consult your inner compass to take the next right step. This mirrors your inner child feeling safe and seen. Presence is the greatest gift you can offer. For in each moment, you have the opportunity to choose peace, joy, and purpose. Your inner child finds home in your conscious decision to be fully available, savoring both simple pleasures and painful emotions without judgment. They recognize presence as love in action. Mindfulness creates order amidst life's beautiful chaos. In being centered, you become the eye of the storm, calm within while storms rage without. Your inner child trusts your ability to meet each moment openly. They know together, you've got this. For living mindfully keeps you connected to your innermost wisdom. And there resides your greatest strength. Conclusion. These 14 signs represent beacons guiding you toward profound inner child healing. Each one signifies deep integration, resilience, and forward motion. Embrace them as affirmations of growth. For when you commit to nurturing your inner child with consistent compassion, they transform from wounded to wise. This inner wholeness ripples outward, allowing you to skillfully handle all of life's experiences while keeping your spirit intact. As you observe these signs emerging in your journey, acknowledge how far you've come. Honor the incredible resilience within you. Your inner child is learning they can trust you. And in that sacred bond lies the key to lasting peace, purpose, and joy.